now working, is it? Fantastic. So I don't know why I'm in black and white, but I am. I don't even know why I'm saying all this, but I start therapy on the 22nd, and today is the 18th. 4 days. I could do with talking now, actually, even if it's just some strange little camera staring at me from a shelf. Don't even know where to begin, and compared to what some people in this world have dealt with, it's nothing. It's really not very much at all, but for me, it's been massive. So, I moved here 5 years ago. I used to have a little flat in Tinmouth. It was really lovely. I was quite a different person back then. A very different person back then. It was really lovely. I met my now ex, M, for the sake of his privacy, while I was living there. We sort of dated for quite a while. He'd been speaking on the phone for like a year or two, so I didn't even realise it was him until he told me. As you can tell, I'm a tranner. I'm not the most convincing tranner. I am on hormones and stuff these days, which is nice, as of about 9 months ago. Although, I've started pretty shockingly self-harming again. Which I hadn't done since I was 19. 10 years, 29 now. I'll be 30 on the 24th. So I've not lost anyone. I've not dealt with that sort of thing. It's just a relationship ending, but it's how it's been done. There's been a lot. So I moved here with him. Not with him, he already lived here. And I ended up leaving my flat in Tinmouth to come and live with him. That was about 5 years ago. 5 years ago in March, to be fair, and we're on January. So not the longest time, but long enough. I'm smitten. Still. I love the man very much. When I met him, I was known for pretty awful things, really, but, you know, I didn't take it in as being awful back in the day. So I was on porn. I was in porn as Lola.B, although all my stuff's getting deleted now, not by me. All the consent's been withdrawn. Funny that. Happened with my last partner too. Never mind. You forget what they want. And I was an escort. So when I moved here, I stopped that. And we made a couples profile, weirdly enough. It was called Our Shared Secret. And we had a couples profile because he promised me that, you know, I'd finally get the monogamous relationship of my dreams. He even told my mum that he wanted to marry me. And told one of his daughters that. He did offer, but I said I didn't believe in gay marriage. Oh, how things have changed. I would have said yes in a heartbeat this year. About 6 months into moving in with him. That's not true. That's not true. About 16 months into moving here, we were building this little cabin. There was some land, which he apparently owned. Turned out it was owned by a trust of 4 people, one of these people being his ex of 25 years. I've always wanted a little homestead, a self-sufficient homestead. So we built this cabin. Over a while, I sunk all my money into it, and we built this cabin. But that will appear again later in the story. So, yeah, about 16 months into being with him, blissfully unaware as I was sent some videos of him having sex with various people. Some trans, some men, some women. I was sent the videos, I was sent some pictures, and I was sent some texts. And so I went and looked at his phone, didn't I? And wow, what did I find? I've never seen anything like it. The sheer amount was shocking. So yeah, he cheated on me like a good 100 times with like a good 100 different people. But not only that, on his like Kik and his Snapchat and his Fab Guys and his texts and his WhatsApp and all of it, with all the people that he had been cheating on me with, he had been pretty awfully bad-mouthing me as well, and saying that I was really anxious and that I didn't meet people with him, even though we had a couple's profile, and that I was scared to go out the house, and best not to contact me. It would only break her if she found out, but she said it's fine for us to meet up. That sort of thing, you know? Obviously, I was unaware of all of that, and had you known me... Sorry, I think my door might have just went. Give me a sec. Oh, annoyingly no, I'm waiting on a delivery from Uber. It's only shopping. I need some Dettol. Yeah, so... that was kind of mind-blowing. Long story short, it was kind of mind-blowing. I'd never encountered it. Anything like it. A lot of the people he was cheating on me with were fucking married. Fucking evil shits, hey? But that was fine, you know. Anyway, I lost it. I got really angry and upset. Unreasonable. But I was a bit unreasonable because I sent a load of the videos and the pictures to some of his family. Mostly his brothers. Along with the message, couldn't any of you have warned me what he was like when I moved in? Considering he was 61 and I was 24. Would have been quite nice to have an idea, because I was a bit naive and clueless. Anyway, he very quickly told them that he had cheated on me because I was a whore. Bearing in mind I had stopped when I moved here and we made a couple's profile. The whole time I've been here, I met one person without him, and it was in retaliation. Which is shit, I know. But we didn't go all the way. I made them stand at that door over there, and then I got them to leave. And I felt shit about it. Because it's not really in me to do that. I'm a surprisingly honest person, you wouldn't think it, but... I don't, what you see is what you get. And I guess that's what made me so fucking easy. Anyway, I had a bit of a breakdown after that. And so I had like a 3-4 month, well, maybe not that long, about a 3-month rum binge. I always tell people 6 months, but that's because it sounds good. No, I had about a 3-month rum binge. I made an album called Corpse Paints. Noise album, improvised, just had a breakdown and recorded it. But I did all of that up at the Bell Tent, so Mark never really had to deal with it. But still. Anyway, I genuinely think he did feel pretty awful after that. Not necessarily for the right reasons, but I do, because I'm an idiot, believe that that was the end of it. Truly. Anyway, it took a while, but got through it. And in my naive idiot head, we'd got through it and come out stronger. So it was back to couple stuff and meeting people together for the escorting. And happy families other than that. And to be fair, for like 2.5 years, it was lovely and really nice. Maybe 3.5 years. Up until last February. So the Christmas prior had been a bit bad. 2023 Christmas wasn't great. Spent an awful amount of money on him and family and stuff. It's a very tricky time of year for my mum. She lost her first child. February 22nd, same as Em's birthday. Christmas, February, very tricky times of year. Usually much alcohol and disaster. But you expect it. Anyway, I spent fucking loads of money on people, and money's not important. Well, at the moment, it sure would be. Anyway, in the end, my Uber's just been cancelled, and they've charged me, haven't I? I fucking need some dental, you know. I won't say quite why, but oh shit, that's not good. Are we off to the fucking hospital? No, I won't. Oh, I hope not. Have they charged me? Yeah. So I won't get that back for like 3 days, will I? Brilliant. Well, 12:21. Yeah, disaster. Disaster after disaster. So, oh god, you try so hard, don't you, to manifest and make it all good. So, yeah, Christmas wasn't great. I ended up, my ma got very drunk and left, shouting and screaming, and Mark was up at his family's up in Bristol, and like his mum and brothers and stuff. Which, fair enough, that happens, but I ended up with like nothing. I had a Terry's chocolate orange. Not the end of the world again, but fuck me, did I fucking skint myself out buying all sorts of stuff. I did the same this year, and I ended up with a candle from him. But that's okay. Anyway, luckily I had a very good friend who knows the situation and knows how it's been, and they spoiled me rotten this Christmas, bless them. Determined to make sure I had a good one. Anyway, February 12th, 2024, Mark had a stroke. It was bad. He got a bad stroke. And I knew something had happened. It wasn't here. He was at his ex's dog sitting while she was away. And yeah, anyway. And at about 1 in the morning I woke up, cold sweat, had this fucking feeling something's happened. So I called around, I called his daughter and Jill, and I was like, something's happened to Mark. And they were like, what do you mean? I was like, just trust me, something's happened. Something's fucking happened. And anyway, they called around the hospitals, and he was in hospital, he had had a stroke. It wasn't good. So, obviously in the morning I was straight at the hospital, and I went and sat by the bed. He said this is a total disaster, babe. Oh, no. But I had a bit of a breakdown seeing him. Didn't show it, but I did. Had a total fucking nervous breakdown. Anyway, for the next 2 weeks, I went to the hospital every day. I used up all my savings, believe it or not, getting on the bus and back, and buying bits, and train, and by the end of it I'd used up all my bloody savings, only 800 quid, since, you know, we only did the couples meets, I didn't have loads saved up, and I used to pour money into stupid stuff, presents and things. And for me, don't get me wrong, high mileage myself. Not mileage, I don't even know what I mean there. But, yeah, bless his heart. Bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him. He was a gardener, you know, very active, very outdoors. We built that fucking cabin together. A little homestead, big bell tent. It was all lovely. Had plans for an extension and stuff. We had just finished a compost loose. It was like, oh. Anyway, so I'd spent all my savings going to see him, which meant I wasn't going to be able to see him as much, but I'd still go and see him every week. His ex and his daughter came round here though, almost perfectly timed, like the day after my savings ran out, and essentially blamed me for everything. Blamed me for him having a stroke, blamed me for him smoking. Been smoking 47 years and I'm 29, but yeah, okay. Whatever, my fault, of course. Ended up being cholesterol was the main reason. Used to eat like a finger clotted cream every day. Bless it. But they fucking blamed me, didn't they? And chucked me out, basically. It wasn't really for them to do, but I was in such a state. I was literally sat on the floor, where I'm sitting now, but on the floor, cross-legged, and they were on the sofa. And they fucking laid into me. And I cried, like a little bitch. I make black metal and stuff, but I'm not like, fucking hell. Fucking look at me. That's so I cried, you know. And then I left. I didn't have anywhere to go, didn't have any money left. I was just on the street. So I left. I went to a friend's, Tony's, and I got a load of my stuff stored in his attic, because I've got an ungodly amount of stuff. There's 4 fucking guitars in this room, and then those 2 hanging up, but the 2 hanging up are Mark's. Bless him. But a lot of this furniture, a lot of it's fucking mine. It's shocking. There's a load of stuff still in the attic. Stuff I've kept hold of for a lot of years. So yeah, I left. I was back on, I was on the street. I say back on because of fucking what happens. So I was on the street. I went to Tor Point, went to Tony's, stayed there for like a month. But I had to keep going out, and there were builders in and out, and you didn't really, you know, didn't really want people knowing the fucking weird tranny was there. Bless him. So, basically I ended up just having to leave there. And that was it. I was properly on the street. And I'd had a breakdown. Like, I had like 6 breakdowns in a row by that point. So, luckily I knew some people who knew someone who knew of like this derelict boat. Like this ruined, flooded barge that had been beached down by Polbathic. Fucking desolate, ruined thing. And I went and stayed there. Went and stayed on that boat. Had to pump it out most days. Had a friend to kind of help me out with it. But it was filthy and it was mouldy and it was dirty and it was in the fucking middle of nowhere. On this weird little windy river. The Liner River, I think. There's like smuggling going on around there. There were ribs coming in. Guys with fucking guns on their ribs. Fucking wild. Got threatened by the local farmer. Heavy stuff was going to happen to me. I cried. I fucking cried, didn't I? And all the while I was coming up here still. And when Mark got out of hospital, I was coming up and visiting him once or twice a week. Spent the last of my bloody money filling up his fridge one day because I came here and he only had a pack of ham in there. I couldn't quite get my head round that. How can you only have a pack of ham? So I spent the last of my savings on... Not my savings, the last of my money for the month. It wasn't savings, they were gone. on filling up the fridge for him. Luckily, this friend who spoiled me at Christmas, I got to know them this year properly, last year, and they kind of helped me a lot. They sort of bankrolled me through it, really. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had anything. I've just been on the street and starved. It's too fucked up to go and get anything sorted out. Anyway, it got to about May, and Mark said to come back, like move back in. Told me to move all my stuff back here from Tony's. I haven't moved it all back here, but I moved a lot of it back here. Shouldn't have. So I moved a load of stuff back here. Oh, one thing that happened that did my head in. So when they were here, like his ex and stuff, it turns out that the land was a trust, which we'd built the cabin and stuff on. That was one of my big dreams in life, have a little cabin and thing like that. Mark couldn't help having a stroke, but this bit was a bit shit. First lesson, but the cheating was the first lesson. They didn't know. The rest of the trust didn't know. They didn't know that we'd built this cabin. They didn't know how much we'd done with the land. They'd never been told. Mark's reasoning was, well, no one goes there, so they weren't ever going to find out. Well, they found out because I told them. Because I would, wouldn't I? You know, what about the cabin that we built? What cabin? You can't have a cabin there, you can't stay there. There's no planning permission. And it's like, well, we've done it all within the guidelines and stuff. Oh, you've done it properly, have you? So, well, you can't be there. So, couldn't be there. So, lost all that too. Well, what they said was, we'll have a meeting to decide what goes on with the land. What that ended up being is, it was supposed to be a Zoom meeting, and they conveniently held the Zoom meeting on the day that I had to leave Tony's. So that was the day that I was actually on the street. Convenient, hey? So I never got to be a part of it at all. Never actually got to hear what was said. But I got a text when I was sitting on the boat the next day, saying that they didn't realise how violent I was. That Jill was afraid to be in her own home. I don't know where she lives, mind you. Never mind, like, what? Why would you say shit? I sent that message to everyone who knew me. Everyone. Can you believe what they're saying? I've never had a fight. I've got no criminal record. I've never threatened anyone. Never punched anyone. Never hit anyone. Never. Didn't know how violent I was. Afraid to be in her own home. Don't even know where she lived. I've exported all these chats to my Google Drive, all of them, because, like, it's the most surreal thing I've ever encountered in my life. What the fuck? It fucking broke me, that did. How can you just make stuff up like that? And then they said that Mark had to barricade his doors against me. So, we used to keep 2 bits of wood at the back and front door. I used to keep 2 bits of wood at the front and back door. I won't say his name, but I've got an ex, RH, from B, from Barnstable. And when I moved in with Mark, he was not very happy. And about a year into being with Mark, he came and tried to kick the doors in. We had to get the police to take him away, which they did. And then the next year, while my mum was here, like something, he turned up again. He was threatening to shoot me and said I'd stolen his email address, and no one knew what the fuck he was on about. The neighbours found it funny. They're like, what? Stolen the email, hey? And the police had to come and take him away again, and then I was supposed to get a... It's not quite a restraining order, it was like an anti-something order against him. But I didn't pursue that. But I kept these 2 big blocks of wood at the doors, just in case, you know, so he couldn't kick it in. I wouldn't keep them there when Mark was here, but when I was on my own, I'd barricade the doors. In that message, they said that Mark had to barricade the door against me. I think even after having a stroke, Mark could have probably fucking knocked me out. I don't think he had to barricade the fucking doors. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, someone's going to call me about a flat in Totnes. That's a long way away from Penzance, eh? Yeah, so I lost the cabin, lost the land. Was slandered to fucking hell and back. And then Mark told me to come back. So I came back. I hadn't tried to get sorted at all. I was waiting to come back, you know. I thought he'd tell me to come back, so I waited to come back. And I came back. And he told me to move all my stuff back, so I moved all my stuff back. Okay? Anyway, it was all going okay, but he was away quite a lot. He kept going to his mum's. My mum did tell me she was surprised he hadn't moved to his mum's. But he kept telling me everything was going to be okay, everything was good, we were good, nothing was going on, everything was fine, we're fine. Got to October, and September, end of September, beginning of October, and weirdly, he'd said something, and then he had left the phone open, his phone open on the table in the kitchen, which was weird. And I just had a feeling that, this sounds weird, but I had a feeling that he had told me to come in, left it open on the side, kind of pointed at it, and then he went and got in the shower. So I don't know, it was like he wanted me to see something, but didn't want to tell me. So I looked. And it was this group chat with him and one of his sons, his daughter and his ex, all telling him to get rid of me, to get rid of what they called the Lola situation. You need to sort out the Lola situation. We got rid of her. You need to get rid of her. Like, why have you invited her back? It's only because we love you, Mark. So the plan was, as he had said, that he would get rid of me by December. Somehow. So, obviously I mentioned this. I wasn't happy. I was fucking fuming. It's like, why don't you just tell me? Why didn't you just say? I could act like butter wouldn't melt around me. just be straight, you know? But he still wasn't. And he was like, I'm hoping that they'll understand that we're good together. I'm hoping that they'll come to reason and that they'll see that things are okay. And I'm hoping that I can convince them and win them over and all this fucking shit. It all turned out to be bloody hoo and ha and blooming fucking codswallop. I believed him, hook, line and sinker, as I do. Because I want to. So he told me everything was fine. But I got in touch with the council. And it was like, look, I think I'm probably going to end up having to leave here. Oh shit. I'll have to add to the... Hey. Oh, phone call with a guy in Totnes who's got a flat. Seemed to know all sorts. Seemed to know some things that I didn't know. Not the first time. My heart and mind can't take very much more. I start therapy on the 22nd. Anyway, I don't know where I was at. Lost the cabin, lost the place, got lied about a lot, got lied to a lot. Anyway, bless him, he had a stroke, and yeah, as I've said. So I came back here, moved all my stuff back here. And he kept going away to Bristol. Over and over, he kept going away. Anyway, but he kept, October, yeah, get her out by December. He kept saying everything was fine, told me it was all fine, we were going to be fine. So I got onto the council and said, like, I need to find a place. Can you send me a list of, like, rentals, private rentals and stuff? And I might need a help with, like, the deposit now, because I don't have the money saved up like I did. I can still get the monthly rent in, not a problem, but... Anyway, so when I was doing all that, he came to me one morning and said, like, no, you don't need to go. I'm going to put you on the council tax register so that you know that you're fine here. I'm such an idiot. It's not a tenancy, is it? Put me on the council tax register. Everything's fine, Lola, you're fine. Nothing's going to happen. So he goes away on the 17th of December to go and spend Christmas with his mum. I'm going to be back here on the 13th. And it was all fine. Everything was fine. Stayed in touch. And then New Year's Eve, I got this long message in the morning saying about how we needed to go our separate ways in the new year. And didn't think it would work out like this. Can't believe it has. Really sorry. I need to be up here to look after my mum. Blah blah. So then he turned his phone off for 4 days. Anyway, he got back in touch afterwards and video calls and things, and said that he'd be back down on the 13th and that he'd be here and he'd spend my birthday with me and stuff, and he was going to hand his notice in for the end of March, giving me enough time to find a place and move and all of that. And he turned up on the 13th with his brother in a moving van. Barely said a word to me over the next few days. Emptied the garage out, emptied the garden out. Landlord and landlady came round, gave them the lease, gave up the lease. Then he went to this Airbnb that his brother had got, apparently, till Monday. Told me that he'd be round on the Friday. Friday came, yesterday. And he messaged me in the morning saying that he wasn't going to come over because he couldn't handle being at the house now. But he would definitely be over on Monday, and he would definitely spend my birthday with me, and he'd be going back on the 30th. So I got a message this morning. No, this morning it was like, oh, having a nice morning, hope you and your day's going okay. And then at 4:30 today, he sent me, I wonder how you and your afternoon are. I thought a lot about it, but I can't come back to the house before going to Bristol. I know that these are more broken... Can you see that? No. I know that these are more broken promises, and I am truly sorry for this. It seems like all I've done this year is break promise after promise. This wasn't a preconceived plan, but it's really becoming obvious that I just can't do it. For my own health, which is strained and broken at the moment. I love you now and always, but I cannot manage seeing you. Sorry that I didn't know this earlier, but I really didn't. Of course, this is still sent with lots of love, your Bim. Lies upon upon promise. All I've said back is, I've got a load of presents for you. I have as well. I sent him loads. I've got a load of presents for him. Got like this little crystal tree. And like, oh, just some custom made candles and lotus scented things. And I made him, we send each other like these emojis. He sends me the fairy, I send him the owl. So I made him like this little miniature fairy in a jar. Made him painted. It goes inside of like a bay leaf jar. And she's painted up like the emoji. So that's kind of it, you know, it's kind of done. I've got to be out by the end of March. At least I've heard that from the landlady. She said even 1st of April if you need it. So at least I know that's true. Someone on the phone to me just then said, I thought he was married. And then they hinted about meeting some couple up in Bristol. Totally different person to the person I was when I met him. Totally different. Totally different. Fucked. Even he said, oh, I remember meeting you round at your timber flat back then. You were so happy, and I was like one of the most happy-go-lucky idiots you'd have ever met. And no wonder this happened, eh? I'm still fucking, I still don't know how to be bad or shitty about it. Just how I am. There's presents for you. I made him some like cakes. I made him a load of cherry almond cakes. They were his favourite ones, so I made him a load of cherry almond cakes for the 13th. Came in and had one and left. That was the only time I saw him. And then I made him some blueberry muffins for yesterday, for Friday, but obviously he didn't come round. So it's like, oh, I'll save him back for Monday, and no, he's just gone. It's like everyone knows, everyone knew. When I left my flat in Teignmouth to come and live here, I got this text. It's stuck in my head ever since, and maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I got this text from somebody, and it said, oh God, you're not moving in with him, are you? You'll be leaving there in 4 years in need of therapy. And I got really angry with them and blocked the number. Like, you don't know nothing, he's lovely, I love him. And I do love him, I still love him. Because it's stupid and blind and shit. I've just known so many people, so many guys. I've got an amazing friend who just buys everything for me, listens to things I don't even remember saying. So attentive, so fucking great and lovely. But you don't choose who you love, do you? I loved a person who's just like fucked me over again and again. Just, you know, you just do, don't you? You can't pick it, you can't choose it, you can't help it. I fucking wish I could. Oh, my trust is so broken. And I'd still swallow it all, hook, line and sinker. It's done such a number on me, this has. Fuck. I don't know, it's a mental response, but since the 16th, we're only on the 18th, I started self-harming really, really badly. Really badly. I need to go and tell a doctor. And I don't want to, because I've never ever told someone in real life, not on a screen, on my little channel. I've never showed anyone, never. But I'm gonna have to, I think. And I'll probably get fucking sectioned. It's quite bad. Not like down to the bone, but down to the muscle, everywhere, and long, and it sent me nuts. It sent me totally nuts. And I've got nothing. I've got all my stuff, but I've got all the same stuff I've always had, and all the bits I've got, I've ended up with nothing to show for any of it. Not that that matters, but nothing. Nothing but, like, trust issues and a little bit of mild trauma. I've never experienced this level of, like, dishonesty in my life, over and over and over again in so many different ways. And then at the end of it all, like, tried so hard to make out that I'm, like, violent and this and that, and really all that happens is nothing. And then when I'm on my own for like 30 days, 40 days, listening to shit after shit after shit after shit, at the end of it all, I've hurt myself. Now going to therapy. So that person was right, except it's been 5 years, not 4. In 4 years' time, you'll be leaving there in need of therapy. Or in 5 years' time, I'm leaving here, and guess what? I'm going to fucking therapy. Never thought I'd be going to therapy. I never thought I was that person, but wow, turns out I am now. I can't believe it. So yeah, but nothing. All my videos are getting deleted. I can't do what I used to do for work. I can't be with another person anymore. I can't do it. I can't. I know eventually things will change, but at the moment I just can't. I think it's going to be a long time before I'm able to like do anything really with anyone, and I don't just mean sexual. Like even like just being close to someone is not really possible at the moment. I've got this lovely social prescriber. She invited me to the ladies' craft club. It's all ladies, you wouldn't have to worry, there's no guys there at all. Could be good, but at the moment I can't be around groups. Actually, it's got to a point this week, over the past 4 days, where I can't get out the front door. Because everyone knows. I don't want anyone to see me. I'm such an idiot. And everyone knows, don't they? Everyone knew in advance. Everyone's known everything for ages. And I've just been kept in the dark like some fucking total mug. And I'm sure I'm to blame. I'm sure I've done something. I'm sure it must have been really bad, but I don't know how. I don't know what the fuck I ever did wrong to him. Everything he ever asked I did. And he always acted like I was great. He always acted like I was just the most lovely thing. Oh, I love you, boo. Do this, boo. Oh, boo. And then it just turns out it's all just a load of shit. I can't believe I've gone along with it for as long as I have. It's awful, really. Absolutely fucking awful. Anyway, so you've not had any posts from me in a long time, because I went with this whole silence is golden thing, and like, best not to talk about anything bad. see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. If I don't talk about it, it won't happen. And like I banned myself from making music because I didn't want to waste any time that could have been spent with him, or like doing stuff which like wouldn't be mocked for being useless. And I didn't want to make any black metal or anything dark or depressive because I can't really afford to do that for myself. So I was like, right, hoo-yah, yeah, we've got like a rowing machine there, that thing. Had like these pedal machines and a stepper machine and exercise things. I was getting up at 6 every morning, do an hour on the exercise bike, wish everyone in my contacts list a good day, and then it'd be like about 8, half 8, make him a cup of tea, take him up, put it by the bed, like 9, another cup of tea, half 9, bring him another cup of tea, then make porridge for when he woke up so that he had breakfast, and then like go from there, and, like try and share cooking every day, do some baking every day for him, you know, tried to be like so fucking prim and proper and perfect. I gave the house a deep clean from top to bottom, repainted the fucking kitchen. And it's all for nothing. Got all these bloody cards everywhere. He sends me cards constantly and gives me cards, even when he's here. You know, when he was in hospital straight after the stroke, he bloody made this for me. Oh, I can't open it. It was a card. Bless him. Yeah, and like there's so many of them, and it's all like love from Bim to Boo, forever and always, and all this. Lola Bunny Boo with love from your Bimdy, and cards everywhere, and even like just before New Year's Eve, I had all these messages about how we'd be okay forever, and everything was great and lovely, and it was all so amazing. The next day it was like, oh, I'm leaving for good, and we got to go our separate ways. And I hoped it would work out, but it hasn't, and it's just been so sudden and up and down and back and forth, and pull me in, throw me out, pull me in, throw me out, pull me in, throw me out. And every time he throws me out, he tells everyone else that I'm like evil and awful and terrible. And then he pulls me in, telling me that it's all rubbish and it's all in my head and that I'm lovely and, you know, and, oh, just, I can't believe it. People did tell me, a few people have warned me, but I've had arguments with people over it, you know? Like, you don't know him like I know him. I've literally beaten that person. You don't know him like I know. I'm with him all the time, and he you know, I'm gonna take his word for everything. Everyone's like, you know really what's going on. It's like, yeah, but no one does that to someone. You don't fuck with people like this. Oh, what lessons I've learned. Lost all my friends by staying here. Family's still close. Well, my mum and Steve is just amazing with me, and other people that know are great. Tony still let me have all my stuff there. That guy who just called up about the flat, he's lovely, really. But all like my older friends and stuff, and anyone that questioned it too much. I've just lost a lot of friends over it. And I'm kind of sat here now with like one person who messages me on WhatsApp, and that's about it, because I just cut off from everyone and like I isolated myself. I did it so that he would be like secure and know that I was like, you know, for him. But I'm starting to see how it all works now. People did tell me, I just couldn't see it, I wouldn't believe it. So this year's going to be crazier than the last. I've got to try and rebuild and try and find who I was before I came here again. Not that that's ever going to happen really now, is it? But I'm nearly 30. I'll be 30 in 6 days. I feel more naive than ever in my life. More damaged, more fucked up, more weird, more childish, more insecure. I've got less of a foundation. Oh. I just can't believe it. It's crushing. Anyway, there you go. Got that out.